The Phase of Zen. This week is the last week of December. These are the last days of the year 2020. Exactly a year ago, we were stunned as we wrapped a yellow bandana of mourning on our heads to bid farewell to our master. In our hearts, though, we all know that whatever happens, dear master, you are with me. When my mind is silent, I am with you. Our master has left us a legacy, which is his Dharma. In accordance with the Buddha's teaching, the causal conditions are ripe for us to be heirs of the Dharma. Our Zen path is now a very clear treasure map. It is a logical, step-by-step and gradual path that closely follows the Buddha's and patriarchs' intent and can also be explained with modern science. In our constitution, our master clearly stated that his policy is to combine the quintessence of the three Zen Buddhist schools. Meditation of the Theravada school, meditation of the developmental Buddhism school, meditation of Zen Buddhism, meditation of the Theravada school or school of the elders. This school is slightly different from the original congregation when the Buddha was still alive. This initial congregation lasted for 100 years after the Buddha entered Nirvana, which was around 383 BC. During that time, the senior disciples of the Buddha still led the congregation. Thus, the congregation was still united. The unity was safeguarded thanks to the first Buddhist council, which was presided over by Maha Kassapa about 3 months after the Buddha's death. In 383 BC, the second Buddhist council was convened by Yasas to straighten up the Vinaya, or monastic discipline or rules. After this council, the previously unified congregation was divided into two major schools. The Theravada school, school of the elders, which later became the Hinayana school. By 1954, it was renamed the Theravada school. The Maha Samgika school, the school of the majority or the community, which later became the Mahayana school. By 1954, it was renamed Developmental School of Buddhism. The reason for having the different names for the schools of Hinayana and Mahayana lies in the many differences in their Zen practice. However, their essential tenets still reflect the Buddha's teaching. We do not want to make a right or wrong judgment when it comes to history. We just explain why we only select the quintessence of each Buddhist school and integrate them into a systematic curriculum that helps us clearly see the steps on our spiritual path. Coming from the old tree of Buddhism, Zen Buddhism nevertheless is quite a distinct school of practice. It started with Zen Master Bodhidharma, 6th century AD, and the lineage continued to the 6th patriarch, who was Zen Master Huineng, 7th century AD. Thereafter, it blossomed into many more schools. Zen Master Bodhidharma bellowed his lion's roar when he advocated a special transmission outside the scriptures, not establishing the teaching upon words, direct pointing to the heart of man, seeing into one's own nature and attainment of Buddhahood. Why do I dare say the lion's roar? The Theravada school has been historically considered as being conservative. It keeps the traditions instituted by the Buddha, such as the following. A woman cannot be ordained. an individual has to be ordained to receive the important teachings. In the past, ordained monks had to seclude themselves in the forest to practice, and they had to ask alms to sustain themselves. No one had the right to write sutras except the Buddha. The spiritual path was orderly, starting with the conventional truths, such as the Four Noble Truths, the 3 characteristics of all phenomena, 37 factors of enlightenment, the 4 foundations of awareness, precepts, samadhi, and wisdom, abhidhamma, etc. The Tripitaka in Pali language was compiled and approved by the Theravada school in accordance with their point of view. The Tripitaka Sutra in Sanskrit was compiled and approved by the Sarvastivada school in accordance with their perception. This school separated itself from the Theravada school. In both the Abhidhamma in Pali and Abhidharma in Sanskrit, the commentators claimed themselves to be versed in the art of argumentation. They focused on analyzing the Dharma into minute constituent parts. Thus, as beginners, we can easily get lost in the jungle of words. On the contrary, the development Buddhist school only expands on the ultimate wisdom truths, especially the last 3 truths of emptiness, illusory nature, and suchness. It opened up a new, broad-minded, and boundless horizon of transcendental wisdom. The patriarchs authored many sutras, developed many themes taken from the Nikaya texts, such as the chapter on enlightenment. They formed a vast system of Prajna Sutra, such as the Flower Garland Sutra, the Diamond Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, the Vimalakirti Sutra, etc. However, the patriarchs seemed not to have paid much attention to the practice methods like the stick, raising the duster without saying a word, etc. All of them have the same purpose of suddenly stunning the disciple's mind into a complete standstill and emptiness that is devoid of all thoughts. From this perspective as sunyata meditation, we have selected the quintessence of the Theravada and development school to establish our spiritual practice path. As we begin treading the path, we need to draw on the conventional truths and thoroughly apprehend those that are related to phenomena. We see that life is real and that human beings experience sorrow and conflicts. From that seeing, we endeavor to gradually transform our mind, purify it, and train it to let go of attachment. We continue our journey and soon need to figure out how we can go beyond the conventional truths and reach the ultimate truths. Here we apply the quintessence of Zen Buddhism, a special transmission outside the scriptures, not establishing the teaching upon words, direct pointing to the heart of man, seeing into one's own nature and attainment of Buddhahood. Zen patriarchs used special teaching methods, beating, shouting, squeezing the student's mouth to silence him, pinching the nose, raising the stick, raising the duster without saying a word, etc. All of them have the same purpose of suddenly stunning the student's mind into a complete standstill and emptiness where it is devoid of all thoughts. Today, we can no longer apply these techniques. We follow the way in which the Buddha taught. Initially, we present the Dharma, and after which we guide the students through the gradual meditation practice steps. The aim is for the students to achieve a state of mind in which thinking, discriminating, and reasoning have stopped. The student is in a state of clear awareness with a totally silent and empty mind. We call it non-verbal awareness. At that moment, the student experiences silent awareness through the faculties of seeing, hearing, and touch, which are the first steps of seeing into one's own nature. This is the goal of our fundamental meditation course. We don't analyze into details what the worldly mind is and what the different aspects of sorrow are. We go straight to the true mind, and during this dwelling, the worldly mind immediately disappears. This is the special point that our teacher has emphasized for decades. This direct pointing to the man's heart is the sound of the lion's roar of Bodhidharma. It is as if one is responding to the 14 volumes of the ancient Abhidharma, which are scriptures with words, which Zen Buddhism sees as dead words. Our spiritual path continues. After experiencing a stable nonverbal awareness state of mind, we can enter the boundless horizon of ontology, where we touch emptiness nature, illusory nature, and suchness nature. Once we really experience nonverbal awareness, we will gradually experience self-generated wisdom. It will help us gain new insights. From here, the door to the wisdom's treasure has slightly opened. It is not just a wisdom treasure, but it is also a treasure for health, loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity, intuition, and supernormal intuition. I just gave above an overview of our spiritual practice path that draws on the quintessence of the 3 schools of Buddhist meditation. Moreover, we demonstrate the value of Zen Buddhism through the findings of modern science. Today, as we recall the treasure of wisdom that our dear founding Zen master has graciously passed on to us during his 25 years of relentless work, our last words to him are, "We are deeply grateful for your immeasurable gift, which is as infinite and boundless as the sky and the oceans." Masters Hall, December 23rd, 2020, Triệt Như.